You are not afraid of being alone. You are afraid of what you hear when everything else goes quiet. That sound, the one underneath the silence, the one that has no name in any language you were taught to speak. You have built an entire life around not hearing it. The notifications, the plans, the noise that arrives before you even ask for it, the body that reaches for the phone before the eyes are open. You know what I am describing. Because you have felt it, that hollow pull, when the room empties and something in you tightens like a fist around nothing. Most people call it loneliness. It is not loneliness. What it is, what it has always been, cannot be approached until you understand what was taken from you, and when, and by whom. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal is not something you will hear once and understand. You will hear it, and then, slowly, over days, it will begin to change the texture of your silence. That is the only promise I make. There is a weight, you have felt it, that settles behind the eyes when you realize the life you are living belongs to someone else. Not all at once. It arrives in pieces, a career chosen because someone needed you to choose it, a relationship held together with the mortar of other people's expectations, a version of yourself, worn so long it has taken the shape of your face. This is where it begins. Not with loneliness, with substitution. Somewhere, and you remember this moment even if you have never named it, somewhere you made a trade. You gave away your silence, in exchange for belonging. You gave away the hours alone, the slow, unwitnessed hours, in exchange for the comfort of being seen. And what returned to fill those hours was not yours. Every desire you think is yours carries a fingerprint. Most of those fingerprints are not yours. The preference for noise, the discomfort with stillness, the anxiety that arrives within 40 seconds of having nothing to do, these were installed. Not by accident. There are systems, old ones, wearing new clothes, that require your inability to be alone. A person who can sit in silence, who needs nothing from the outside to feel complete, is ungovernable. They cannot be sold to. They cannot be managed with fear. They do not perform for approval because they have found something, in the quiet, that approval cannot replicate. This is what was taken from you. Not your peace, your access to it. But this is only the surface of it. What lies beneath, what the silence is actually guarding, that will require you to go somewhere most people turn back from. Hold that thought. Because the next thing I am about to show you will make everything I have said so far feel like the beginning of a longer sentence. The ancients, and I do not mean this loosely, the traditions that survived every empire, every erasure, every burning of records and libraries and living memory, they all preserved one teaching above the rest. Not prayer. Not discipline. Not love, or wisdom, or the cultivation of virtue. One teaching. The capacity to remain with oneself, without fleeing, without filling, without the need for witness. They called it different things in different tongues. The Stoics pressed a finger to the chest and named it the inner citadel, a place inside the body, behind the sternum, that no external force can enter without your permission. The Desert Fathers walked into the wilderness, not to escape the world, but to meet the version of themselves that the world had buried. The Zen tradition placed a student alone in a room, not to think, not to achieve, but to discover what remained when thinking stopped. They were not running from people. They were running towards something that people, in crowds, make inaudible. The self that exists before it learned to perform. You have met this self. Not often. In the gray hour before language arrives in the morning, in the suspended moment at the edge of sleep, in the unexpected stillness after something ends, a relationship, a job, a version of your future, when the loss is so complete that even grief has not arrived yet. In that hollow, something breathes. It is older than your name. It does not want anything from you. It does not need you to be more, or better, or fixed. It simply waits. And the tragedy, the one that runs like a cold thread through modern life, is that we have been taught to fill that space before it can speak. To mistake its silence for emptiness. To mistake its stillness for death. You think you understand now. You do not. Not yet. Because understanding is still the mind's defense against actually going there. The mind will take everything I have said, and build a structure out of it, a philosophy, a framework of appreciation for solitude. And then, it will live inside that structure and call it transformation. This is the oldest trap. The map mistaken for the territory. The description of water mistaken for the act of drinking. What I am pointing to cannot be understood. It must be entered. And this is where the stakes become real. Because entering it means sitting with what is actually there. Not the curated version. Not the self you present to mirrors. The version with the unresolved fear that has not moved in 20 years. The grief you learned to carry so quietly even you forgot it was weight. The want, raw and wordless, that surfaces in the dark and has no object you can name. This is what waits in the silence. Not peace, not yet. First, truth. The silence is not a reward. It is a courtroom. And the person who appears there, the witness and the witnessed, is the only version of you that cannot lie. Most people feel this approaching and they reach for the phone. And the phone delivers them, instantly, from the terror of their own company. This is not weakness. This is what was trained into you, the reflex, the Pavlovian pull away from self and toward stimulation. But here is what they did not tell you. On the other side of that terror, not around it, not above it, through it, is a stillness so complete it feels like a physical substance. A pressure, at the center of the chest, that is not pain and is not pleasure. Something older than either. This is what the traditions were pointing toward. This is what was sealed away. And this is how you return to it. The first instruction is this. Begin before you are ready. Do not wait for a morning that feels spacious. Do not wait until the life is quieter. Take 7 minutes. 7. Sit in a room without sound, without screens, without the pressure of a timer. And place both hands flat against your thighs. Feel the warmth of your own palms through the fabric. That warmth is real. That warmth is yours. It belongs to no one else and was made by no external source. Stay with that. Not with thoughts about it. With the sensation itself. The slight heat, the pressure of palm against leg, the way the breath moves the chest without your asking it to. When the mind leaves, and it will leave, repeatedly, toward planning and memory and the 10,000 things, you do not follow. You return. Not with effort. With the same quiet insistence you would use to redirect a child who has wandered toward a road. Gently. Firmly. Without drama. This is the first practice, and it is not about calm. It is about learning that you can return, that the self is not lost when the mind wanders, that something, underneath, remains. The second instruction. Learn to sit with the discomfort without narrating it. When the quiet brings something difficult, and it will, an image, a feeling, a pressure behind the eyes, resist the impulse to explain it to yourself. The explanation is the exit. Instead, feel where it lives in the body. Is it in the throat, a tightening, a held breath? Is it in the stomach, a pulling, like something attached to a cord you cannot see? Place your attention there. Not to fix it. Not to understand its origin. To acknowledge, with your full presence, that it is there. This is what most people have never done. And what happens, when you do, is that the feeling changes. Not because you fought it. Because you finally stopped running. And something that has been chasing you only needed to be seen. Beneath the discomfort, there is always something older. A silence that was there before the discomfort arrived. A stillness that the discomfort was resting on top of. When the discomfort is met, fully, it dissolves into that stillness. And you are left with the ground beneath everything. That ground has been there the entire time. The third instruction. Take one meal, alone, without sound. Not as punishment. As ceremony. Set the table as you would for someone you deeply respect. One plate, one glass. Sit down. And before you begin, pause. Feel the weight of the utensil in your hand, the cool metal warming in your grip. Look at what is in front of you. Smell it. Not to analyze or appreciate. To be present with it. Now eat slowly. And notice, this is the instruction, notice every impulse to reach for distraction. The hand that moves toward the phone, the eyes that drift toward the window seeking something moving. Each time you notice the impulse, you are awake. You are not in the habit. You are watching the habit. And the watcher is free. This meal will feel strange the first time. Long. Almost unbearable in its simplicity. That unbearability is information. It is telling you exactly how far you have traveled from yourself. It is also showing you the way back. The fourth instruction. Walk without destination once each week. Not for exercise. Not for productivity. You will leave your door, and you will not decide where you are going. This will feel wrong. Every trained instinct will insist on a direction, a purpose, a return time. Let those instincts speak. And walk anyway. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the slight impact of heel meeting earth, the way the air changes temperature as you move through it. The world will offer you things, sounds, shapes, unexpected moments of light through leaves or between buildings. Receive them. Do not photograph them. Do not save them. Let them arrive and let them pass. The things you cannot keep are teaching you something about the things you have been gripping too tightly. The walk is not the practice. The release is the practice. And when you return to your door, you will notice something difficult to name. A slight expansion in the chest. As if something that had been compressed for a long time took one deeper breath. Honor that. Do not explain it. Just notice that you made that happen. With your feet, your breath, your willingness to have no destination. The fifth instruction. Write one sentence each night. 1. Not a reflection, not a summary of the day, not a gratitude list. One sentence about what you noticed in yourself when you were alone. Not what you thought. What you noticed. There is a difference. Thought explains, noticing witnesses. Over time, you will begin to see a pattern. Not in the sentences. In yourself. You will begin to recognize the shape of your own interior life, the recurring textures, the particular quality of your silence on certain days, the things that come forward when everything else falls away. This pattern is yours. It belongs to no one else. It cannot be compared, it cannot be performed, it cannot be taken. It is, possibly, the most intimate thing you have ever seen. And you will have seen it, alone. Because only alone could it be seen clearly. The sixth instruction. Once, only once, spend an entire day without speaking aloud to another person. This is not isolation. You may be in the world, in the city, surrounded by people. But your voice, your external voice, rests. What you will discover within the first 2 hours is that most of what you say each day is not communication. It is maintenance. The small sounds made to confirm your own existence to those around you. When that stops, something shifts. The inner voice becomes louder. And then, if you stay in the silence long enough, that voice too begins to quiet. And what remains, beneath the inner voice, beneath the thought, is a kind of attention. Pure. Unattached. Watching everything, including itself, without commentary. This is what the traditions call the witness. Not a thing you become. A thing you remember that you are. It is always there. The noise was simply louder. The seventh instruction. Let someone be with you, and remain yourself. This is the hardest one. Because what most of us do, the moment another person enters the room, is contract. Something shifts in the posture, a slight tightening across the shoulders, a version of us arrives that is slightly less than the version that was alone. The practice is this. Before you respond, feel your feet on the floor. Both feet, flat, the slight pressure of ground meeting sole. And speak from there. Not from the performance. From the ground. You will find that when you speak from that place, something in the other person shifts too. Because they are also waiting, without knowing it, for someone who does not need them to be anything other than what they are. This is the gift of the person who has learned to be alone. They do not ask the room to save them. And so, the room can breathe. And so, the people in it can too. What I have given you is not a set of practices. You know this already. What I have given you is a map back to something you never entirely lost, only learned to move away from at such speed that the movement felt like life. The art of being alone is not about spending time by yourself. It is about discovering that there is a self worth spending time with. A self that was never broken by the silence. A self that was, in fact, made of it. The world will continue to offer you noise. Good noise, beautiful noise, the noise of people you love and work that matters in a life that is, in many ways, full. Take all of it. But keep one room inside you, quiet. Keep 1 hour, unscheduled. Keep one part of yourself, unwatched. Because that part is the one that knows what you actually want. That knows who you actually are. That has been waiting, patiently, without complaint, through every year you spent being everything to everyone else. It is still waiting. The question that remains, the one I will not answer for you, is not whether you can learn to be alone. You already know how. The question is what you will find, when you finally stop being afraid to look. And that, only you can answer. In the silence. When no one else is there.